Egghead Hockey here. Today we're going to be talking about the top 10 potential Calder candidates for next year. Today's video does include players that are not signed, but these players are most likely going to play in the NHL next year and they're going to get signed this offseason. The Calder Trophy can be really hard to predict, and people have different opinions. So make sure you tell me if you disagree with any of our picks. Anyways, before we get into today's video, I need to mention that we have another YouTuber featured in today's video. That YouTuber is known as Nordic97. He makes hockey content just like mine. So if you could show him some appreciation for coming on this channel by subscribing to him, that would be great. He's going to do the first 5 players in today's video. So now I pass the mic to Nordic97.
Starting with number 10, we have Beau. He was drafted in 2018 by the Arizona Coyotes. He has taken 2 years to develop, but now he's coming in. I think he is ready to go for the Calder. But do I think he's going to win it? Probably not, but he is one of the top 10 people that we have here. So, he did very well in the World Junior Championships in 2019. So, if he can do that, I'm sure he could be in the NHL. Number 9 is Marie Snyder. Marie Snyder is with the Detroit Red Wings. He's been struggling. Well, he hasn't really been struggling. He's been playing well in the American Hockey League with the Grand Rapids City Griffins, and I think he played a little bit with Detroit as well. So, he's also a runner-up for that also. Number 8 is Quinn Byfield. He hasn't been selected yet. But whether he's selected by Los Angeles, who's number 3? Ottawa, any of those players, I still see him as one of the best Calder Cup contenders, which is why I have him at number 8. I think he's going to do very well. He did very well in the OHL with the Sudbury Wolves in the 2019-20 season. So I'm sure he can do very well in the NHL for 2020-2021. Number 7 is Tim Stützle. In my opinion, one of the best goal scorers heading into this draft, and I think he can be very solid coming into the 2020-2021, and he can score a lot of goals. He scored a lot of goals in, I think it was Frölunda HC that he played for, and Sweden, so he's been a very solid player, and I think he can score a lot of goals. At number 6 here, we have Dylan Cozens. Dylan Cozens was drafted in 2019 by the Buffalo Sabres, so and Buffalo's been really struggling throughout their time, like 9 years without playoffs. It's kind of sad. I'm not going to get into a rant about that. I haven't before on my channel, but no, not on him. So, Dylan Cozens, I think he has very good potential, and I think he can really help this Buffalo team, and yeah, I do think he's one of the Calders. So anyways, thank you guys for watching. If you enjoyed, make sure to check out my channel. And yeah, back to Egghead Hockey.
The 5th most likely Calder candidate for the 2020-21 season is Beau and Byron. Byron was selected 4th overall by the Colorado Avalanche in 2019. Beau and Byron is one of the league's best prospects, and I think he is currently the best defensive prospect in the league. Byron is definitely NHL ready in my opinion, and I wonder if we'll see him play in the playoffs this year. Some people say that putting Byron at 5 is too low, but usually defenders don't win the Calder Trophy. Only 11 defensemen have ever won the Calder Trophy, and most of them were offensive defensemen or they were part of a pretty weak rookie crop. Byron definitely could have a good offensive presence, but offense isn't his main trick. He's a very good two-way player, and I can still definitely see him putting up good offensive numbers like 40 to 60 points per season while still being one of the better defensive players. Although Byron has the potential to be a 40 to 60 point scorer, I can't see him becoming that in his rookie season. He's not going to be like Quinn Hughes and Cale Makar, where they immediately become impact players. Usually, defensemen take a couple years to develop, and the fact that Byron is already NHL ready 1 year after being drafted is pretty good. Byron is a quick and creative defender, and he has a rocket of a shot, so he has a good offensive skill set, but he also has a polished all-around game. And in my opinion, like I mentioned 2 times already, he's definitely NHL ready. I can't wait to see him next year, and he's a player that I like a lot. And he's someone who I can see potentially contending and possibly winning a Norris Trophy in the future. But I don't think he's going to be a 60-50 point kind of guy. I think he's got a chance to maybe contend for the Calder, but 5 doesn't mean, he's guaranteed going to win. 5 is like you could go either way. The combo of Byron and Makar is going to be sick, and it's going to be deadly. And on top of that, the Avs also have Samuel Girard. So they're going to have 3 young defenders with arguably elite potential. The fourth most likely Calder candidate for the 2020-21 season is Alex Turcotte. Turcotte was selected 5th overall by the LA Kings in the 2019 draft. Turcotte is yet another one of the best prospects in the league. Turcotte is a very good two-way player, and unlike some two-way forwards, he is a good scorer. While being a very good two-way player, he is also a great playmaker with excellent vision and puck handling. Turcotte is an elite potential player, and Turcotte might seem ranked too low for his skill, but the players ranked above him are better scorers in my opinion. Yes, the criteria for the Calder Trophy is value, but I think the higher scorers are usually considered more valuable than two-way players because there's no real stat for value. So scorers are seen as more valuable players than two-way players just because of the numbers, which in some cases isn't true. I think, and this is just my opinion, that two-way players don't get enough recognition. But scoring is also the way you win. So you can't really say two-way players are more valuable than scorers and vice versa. In the future, I can definitely see Turcotte being a 60 to 80 point scorer. And the Kings have a very bright future with him, and there are many other awesome prospects. Especially now that they had the second pick in the 2020 draft. Imagine the Kings with Quinton Byfield or Tim Stützle. The Kings and Turcotte have a very bright future, and Turcotte could have some really good line mates in the future. The third most likely Calder candidate for the 2020-21 season is Trevor Zegras. Zegras was selected 9th overall in the 2019 AHL draft, and ever since then, he has climbed up the prospect rankings. He was selected 9th, and now TSN has ranked him as the 8th best prospect in the league above Alex Turcotte, who was selected before him. He is an elite potential two-way forward with a very good scoring upside. In fact, I think that Zegras is actually a better scorer than Turcotte, and the stats will tell. Both of these guys played university hockey this year, and Zegras outscored Turcotte by 10 points. Zegras did play 4 more games, but realistically, 4 games wouldn't take away 10 points. So statistically, Zegras is a little bit better at scoring. Anyways, enough with the comparison. Zegras is not only good with racking up points, he also has a good physical game and mental game. He's good at getting under the opponent's skin and looking for opportunities to lay down hits. He is one of the more frustrating players to play against. He is a great playmaker and he's a good skater. And on top of that, he has a laser shot. He is similar to Turcotte in many ways, and he has similar potential. I can see him being an elite 60 to 80 point two-way forward just like Turcotte. I think that Zegras, just like the rest of the players that are coming up, is NHL ready. And like I mentioned, I think he's a little bit more offensive than Turcotte. So I could see him being a bigger impact player next year, and he could be seen as the more valuable player. His defensive play isn't as good as Turcotte's, and that's why I think Turcotte will become the better player. But Zegras is better offensively, and he's better right now. I think he has a better chance of winning the Calder because, like I've said multiple times, usually the more offensive players end up winning the Calder. And it's basically the rookie scoring title now. So I think Zegras is more likely to win the Calder because he's more offensively ready. The second most likely Calder candidate for the 2020-21 season is Kirill Kaprizov. Kaprizov was selected 135th overall by the Minnesota Wild in the 5th round of the 2015 NHL draft. He has been a star in the KHL, which is the second best hockey league in the world. I think Kaprizov is 100% NHL ready. It's only a matter of if he wants to play in the NHL or not. It's looking like he probably will play with the Wild next year, and this year in the KHL, he had 62 points in 57 games with the second best hockey league in the world, and he had the 3rd most points in the league. I'm very sure he'll be an impact player in his rookie year, as he has proven he can play well at a high level. Kaprizov is a playmaker, but at the same time, he's also a sniper, if that makes any sense. He's being compared to stars such as Artemi Panarin and Vladimir Tarasenko, which is a pretty high praise. He is in general a very good scorer, and he can net goals and rack up assists. He has a smart brain and a strong shot. He is also a quick skater, and he has very good hands. And he's probably one of the most hyped up prospects, and I think he's going to be a really good player. It's safe to say he was a steal from the 5th round. And imagine him on a line with Kevin Fiala, the Wild's up and rising star, and Eric Stahl, the Wild's veteran star. I think he's going to be sick, and he will definitely help out the Wild finally push over that line of mediocrity that they've been on for the past couple of years. The most likely Calder candidate for the 2020-21 season is Alexis Lafreniere, who is a generational talent. Lafreniere hasn't even been drafted yet, but he is the consensus first overall pick, and he will belong to a decent team as it is a play-in loser who won the lottery. So playing on a team that's not super bad will help him out a lot, and it could possibly boost his improvement and his stats. I think he's a generational talent, and I think he'll be a big impact player next year. Besides some rumors of him potentially playing in Europe next year, it looks like he's most likely going to sign with the team that drafts him. And most of the time, generational talents have a great rookie season, even if it's shortened. And a lot of the time, they are close to and sometimes above a point per game. I think Lafreniere will be for sure a Calder contender next year, as long as he plays, of course, and as long as he stays healthy. He is a pass-first playmaker with a laser shot that he doesn't really utilize, and he's also a quick skater. He isn't a two-way player, but he's not a defensive liability by any means. But he's more offensive-minded than he is defensive-minded. He's just in general a great player, and even though I want my team Canucks to win the play-in, I'll be much less upset if they win Lafreniere's sweepstakes. Thank you guys for watching today's video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, make sure you like, subscribe, and turn on post notifications. I want to give a special thanks to Nordic97 for coming on our channel, and I'm working on some other collabs with other YouTubers to get more special guests. So if you're a hockey YouTuber and you want to collab, DM me on Twitter, link in the description, and until next time, bye.